Let's take down the circuit diagram. So the difference between the first circuitry, the first biasing technique, that is fixing VGS, and this is fixing VG. The difference is there you don't have RS, but here we have connected an additional resistance RS, which will act as a degeneration resistance. And if you increase the value of RS, still it becomes more stable. The Q point, it will become more stable. Why? Because the DC load line slope will be less, and it will become less steep, so that the variation between ID1 and ID2, or the chance of that ID change, it will be less. That means Q point shift will not be occurring. Okay, so that is what is the degeneration action. That is a role played by the resistance RS. Now, still, if you want to modify the circuit, additionally, you will fix a coupling capacitor CC1 as well as a signal resistance RSIC. Because this is just the biasing circuit. This biasing circuit, you are using an amplifier, means you have to give a signal. You have to give a signal source which will be very weak, and that has to be amplified, correct? So apart from this DC biasing circuit, you will provide a signal source basic, which is to be amplified. So to control that current flow, we are having a signal resistance RSIC along with the coupling capacitor CC1. Why I am drawing this? Because I need to show what should be the modification in the original circuit when I am coupling a signal, okay, to this biasing circuit. So when I am using a signal source, I have to connect a coupling capacitor CC1 between the gate and the signal. Take down the circuit. Now, what is the use of this coupling capacitor? Or why you require that CC1 between the signal source and the input terminal? Because already you have set the biasing, correct? So this you have to remember for lab also. Whenever you're doing some electronic circuits, you have to fix the biasing, and then only you will give your input. Same thing I have shown here also. You have fixed the biasing circuitry by using RG1, RG2, and RS. After that, I'm giving B signal. Okay. So while giving your signal source, we are connecting a coupling capacitor CC1 here. Now, what is the requirement of CC1? You know that capacitance will pass AC and block DC, isn't it? It will pass AC and block DC. So even though we are giving an AC signal for the amplification, but still it will have some DC components. Okay, there will be some unwanted DC components coming along with the input AC. So that DC components, if we are not using your coupling capacitor CC1, there is high chance that this DC components will get interrupt along with the biasing voltage, whatever you have done earlier. Okay, already you have fixed a perfect DC at the gate voltage with the aid of RS, RG1 and RG2. If we are not using CC1, then from the signal source, some other DC components will also come, and it will disturb the Q point. Means your VG will get changed. When VG changes, means what will happen? It will again affect your ID, isn't it? It will again affect your ID, and your Q point will get disturbed. There is some chance that the Q points may shift towards the triode region from saturation region, which is not at all desirable. So whenever you are connecting a signal source to the gate terminal, then you will have to connect a coupling capacitor CC1 that will block the DC and pass or couples the AC components towards the gate terminal for faithful amplification. I hope you got the idea or the requirement of connecting CC1 along with basic. So please take down that point. If you have any queries, you can ask. Mahidar, any doubts? Mahidar Kumar. Varun Gowda. Rupendra.
Sir?
Yeah, any doubts, Varun?
No, sir, nothing.
Rupendran.
No, sir.
Good. Okay. Now, I told you are fixing VG by making use of RG1 and RG2. And I also told you need to take appropriate values of RG1 and RG2 by making use of that voltage divider equation, isn't it? The voltage divider equation is VG is equal to VDD into RG2 divided by RG2 plus RG1. Already I have discussed in the previous biasing technique, this equation. So by making use of this equation only, you are fixing this particular voltage VG across RG2. Now, but what value you will take for RG1 and RG2, that you have to describe. Okay. In what range? You can take ohmic range, kilo ohmic range, mega ohmic range. But what range will be most suitable for our MOSFET? That will be explaining in this particular. The point is, you know that IG is 0. When IG equal to 0, whatever the drain current drawn from the supply voltage, it will be flowing through the source terminal IS. That is, ID will be equal to IS. The drain current will be equal to source current and the gate current will be 0. The main contribution behind this is due to the presence of a oxide layer, SiO2 layer, silicon dioxide layer at the gate terminal. Because it is offering an infinite resistance and because of which the gate current is 0. Now, apart from that, to maintain a 0 gate current, you will have to provide a infinite or high resistance at the gate terminal. So for maintaining a 0 current at the gate resistance RG1 and RG2 should be of mega ohmic range. So that you have to remember, that is very important. RG1 and RG2 should be in mega ohm. Okay. So to maintain 0 current IG equal to 0, RG1, that is potential divider network, RG1 and RG2 should be in mega ohm range. That will provide a large resistance to the signal source that may connected to the gate through a coupling capacitor. This already I have explained the requirement of CC1. So whenever you are designing a biasing circuit, you have to design RG1, RG2, RS. Because RS is going to determine the slope of the DC load line and thereby fixing the Q point. And also the combination of RG1 and RG2 is going to fix your VG, correct? VG has to be fixed. So to make VG constant, you have to carefully take RG1 and RG2. But that should be in mega ohmic range because you need to maintain 0 gate current. Ideally, the gate current should be 0 because you have to maintain ID equal to IS. Okay. So the condition is, while choosing RG1 and RG2, it should be in mega ohmic range and you have to connect a coupling capacitor CC1 in series with your signal source to block DC and pass AC so as not to disturb the Q point. Because once you fix a Q point and thereafter you are giving your signal source, at that time the Q point may shift. But that shifting should not happen. For that, the unwanted DC components coming from the AC source has to be blocked. So for that, we are going to give a coupling capacitor. I feel it is clear for you. Any doubts, please ask. Tomorrow we'll explain the third and fourth biasing technique. I already listed there are 4 distinct techniques for biasing the MOSFET. The first one already we explained, that is fixing VGS. Second one is fixing VG along with an RS, that also we have explained. And the advantage of the second case is Q point will be more stable when compared to the first case. And you can easily control by fitting an external high value resistance at the source. Fine. So when you come for the next class, that is tomorrow, please revise till this topic. Okay, any queries you can put in the Google Classroom. If you have any doubts, you can put your questions or queries in the classroom. I will reply for that. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.